Hey there, are HR issues giving you a frown? Turn it around with SmartHR. We are renowned.
Products are expensive, there's marketing stability. Here, everything is just off the roof. It's a lot to ask me, honestly.
Entrepreneurs, lend us your ear. We're here to solve your HR problems crystal clear. From hiring to policies, we've got you covered.
So there are many efficient ways that helps you to still remain ethical and still serve your clients with the intention of the brand.
Tune in, discover the HR world anew. With SmartHR, success is within view. Entrepreneurs, gather near and far. Let's conquer HR challenges, no matter how bizarre.
In an era of remote work, diverse teams, and rapidly changing technologies, understanding how to foster effective communication and harmonious team dynamics is essential for any startup, for any entrepreneur running a business. Welcome to SmartHR, the show where we dive deep into the ever-evolving world of human resources, answering questions of entrepreneurs and startups, and, helping them navigate the complexities of the modern workplace. I am your host, Chukwu Nonso Modi, and in today's episode, we're tackling a crucial aspect of HR, or rather, HR for entrepreneurs and startups that can make or break a team's success. We're talking about team dynamics and communication. We are going to explore strategies, best practices, with the aid of our case study and our entrepreneur, and also the help of our HR expert to help you optimize teamwork and communication within your organization. But of course, we have to listen to our entrepreneur of the day. Let's hear Chuks as he tells us about his struggles with communicating and how it has, affected his team dynamics. Welcome, Chuks. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Hi, my name is Goto Chukwu. I'm the creative director for the Lagos Art Shop. Yeah, at the Lagos Art Shop, we create masterpieces, pieces that will blow your mind. It's like a very creative art space / gallery. So if you're an interior designer, a developer, and you're looking to boost the sale of your place, just you know where to come, the Lagos Art Shop. My question for SmartHR is employee management. One is for myself. I'm not really one to communicate because I tend to project a lot when I talk. Especially when I'm serious about what I'm trying to communicate. So it passes off like I'm shouting, I'm being harsh. I've had series of experience with that, and people give me that feedback that I'm too stern. I shout a lot. I took it to heart, and then I stopped trying to tell people things. I just try and send them an email or a text, you're not doing well, you're doing well, this is what you should do. But it's not very effective. I've noticed it's not very effective, so I don't know what to do about that. Secondly, because we are like a creative space, I like everybody to, be in their feelings, be okay mentally, so that you can create and, be at your best whenever you're doing what you're doing. A lot of our projects, we just don't cut it. There's like a timeline for everything we're trying to do, and at the end of the day, I discover we are always behind. So I don't know if I'm pampering them too much or what can I do?
All right, so Chuks, can you give an example of you pampering them? For example, you said you don't know how to communicate well with them, and then it has put a dent. So can you give an example, what has happened, probably because of you not wanting to come off as someone who is shouting, stern, so you now have to use emails. Maybe there's been a time that you had to lose a client or productivity, something like that. So just an example. So the HR.
So it's like two different questions.
Okay.
One was me not communicating, and one is I'm trying to build a mental space, a safe haven where you can walk freely without having someone backing at you. So I like everybody to be okay so that you can be at peace of mind and create. So I think it's because there's no, you need to do this, it's
make them relax.
Yeah, make them to relax. So we don't, we're always struggling to meet up with time, and in fact, it's terrible.
I can imagine how terrible it is because you have something to do, and because you maybe has there also been a case of you send them something via mail or WhatsApp and they don't respond till later when it's too late, something like that?
Yeah, there's always that always happens, and sometimes I then try to call to currently we're on a project, although it came in late, but we had 1 week to finish this project.
Okay.
And guess what? We're 3 days behind.
Wow.
So this is always happening. It's always happening. I don't know if I need to change
your mode of communication,
or I need to just tell everybody, you know what, this is not working, and get a new set of people. Yeah.
I get it. Okay, well, that's why we have the HR expert to point you to that direction which you go. So after this break, we'll hear from our HR expert. Thank you so much, Chooks, for coming to the studio.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Smart HR. I am your host, Chukwu Nonso Modi. And of course, you've heard from our entrepreneur, and now it is time to introduce our HR expert who will help us prefer solutions to this problem. Now, our expert is a global HR professional with years of multi-dimensional work experience spanning across people, process development, and transformation. Her experience cuts across different sectors such as FMCG, oil and gas, aviation, logistics, non-profit, agriculture, IT and energy on both national and international scale. So you should know the level of her expertise when it comes to this. She is widely known as Cheesy, and she's currently the HR business partner at British Council. Our HR expert for today is Chizoba Michelle Sylvester. Welcome to the studio, Cheesy. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Nonso. The pleasure is all mine. I've been looking forward to coming here.
And I'm so excited that you're here. So let's talk about this problem now. I mean, we've heard from the entrepreneur, and he says he has issue with communication, which is also affecting his business. So having listened to him, what will you say is the issue now?
Okay, from what the explanation, I would say is very typical of all entrepreneurs' issue at the moment. So you're not the only one going through this issue.
Okay.
So the first thing is to first realize yourself, have the self-awareness, first to know where you are the problem and tackle it. And then we begin to talk about your team members. Mm-hmm. So once you realize where you're faulting or where you're defaulting, so to speak, you look for trainings, train yourself to get equipped, also do the right things, and also get quite intentional about what the kind of boss or the kind of CEO you want to be. So develop yourself, work on yourself, and since we've established that, then I can move to your team members. If you're able to do that. So for team members, working with team members or working with a team, I'll give this analogy like where they say children, you correct a child through your action and not by what you say. So this also can be equivalent to culture, workplace culture. Mm-hmm. Workplace culture is beyond what's written in papers. It's beyond the hard copies. So it goes beyond what you tell people to do, how you want them to, like I heard you said you wish for this to happen, you wish for them to be like this. So it's not your wish, it's not what you're saying, but how you're acting. So most times from top to bottom. So they are looking at how the CEO is acting, they are looking at how the line managers are acting. So like a child, instead of speaking, do more of action, and then the action will look like creating a psychologically safe environment where people can thrive in.
Interesting. I mean, I listened to him too, and I like that you said he should first work on himself, because he said the issue is his communication. He had issues where they will say, oh, when he's trying to pass a message across, it seems like he's shouting. So because of that, he now had to start going via mail, text, so that he doesn't come off as too strong. But then again, he's now worried that there is the issue of him not coming on as too strong is making them relax. Now, let's leave him now. Of course, he is the person bringing this, but let's talk generally now. Now, what happens or what causes that kind of thing in an environment where, okay, he already has his own issue, which he has admitted, but then would you say that the employees too are leveraging on the fact that he's trying to respect them and not be too, how do I put it now, not too, looking for the right word, he's not coming too hard on them, and because of that now they are so relaxed. My boss doesn't talk much, it's via email, that kind of thing.
Okay. I would say for employees, it still boils down to workplace culture. So what's the existing culture in your workplace? So is it psychologically safe for people to work? Is it psychologically safe for people to air their views and to work? So if it's that you've created that I'm not sure, but if it's that they've created a psychologically safe environment for your employees to work, then I would say, okay, for employees, you can adopt a model of positive reinforcement. So positive reinforcement is where you don't wait till people make mistakes. You want to attack them, or you want to say, okay, see, I'm lenient, that's why you're acting this way. Rather, prior to even going on a venture, prior to launching a project or doing any project, you've given your timeline, you've given your deadline. So give a positive reinforcement in sort of incentive, or what happens if we meet this deadline. This is what we'll do. We are celebrating our wins proactively. So more like giving a positive reinforcement is making people ahead of the project. They are optimistic and they are self-motivated to achieve this goal. So maybe because if they are used to, okay, we've worked on projects before and nothing happened, or we've done things and we could get away with not meeting deadlines. So instead of doing a negative reinforcement where you tell them, I'm angry, I am this, we're going to do, I'm going to sack you, I'm not working with you, I'm going to drop you off, do more like a positive reinforcement. And in the positive reinforcement to give feedback, give feedback as a line manager or as a CEO, give feedback to your team members, and also start encouraging. Now I'm talking to employees, yeah. So to employees, so they should also learn how to give feedback among themselves. So maybe you can introduce that as well. So they give feedback among themselves as well. So give feedback, reframe mistakes, and learn to appreciate people. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes. Give so the issue now is, or not, I won't say it's an issue, but he should give feedback to them. Like once they do something good, you appreciate them. Like let them know that they're part and parcel of.
Emphasis on once you have a deadline, do a positive reinforcement.
Okay.
As opposed to maybe threatening or trying to give a negative reinforcement. Do a positive reinforcement and see how that works.
Okay. Now, part of this now is communication now, which we have spoken about. But there's something called, you know how companies, when you start, they give you ID, you sign that, okay, there's some information that you don't take outside, that kind of thing. But then how can entrepreneurs balance the need for that transparency? I mean, you just talked about work culture, so your employees need to know what is happening, at least to some extent. You need to be able to trust them. So how can them balance the need to protect sensitive company information when it comes to internal communication, and also making sure that they know enough, they understand the work culture to help that business grow?
I'm not sure what is internal.
For example, you know how they will tell you, like when you're leaving now, they'll take your ID card. There are some mails that they might not copy you into, that kind of thing. I've had someone come on show and say, oh, the company is they don't let them know some issues, and then when things now spoil, it looks like as if, oh, you're supposed to have known, but then some information were left out, that kind of thing. So how can they balance that?
Okay, so as much as possible, I advocate for openness and open communication, especially among management and the people. So, however, it can't take away the place of confidentiality. Okay. So, confidentiality, they shouldn't even get to know. And they shouldn't even get to know, probably because someone has already leaked an information and it's now going viral. So it looks like you were supposed to tell them that if it's confidential, then your management should treat as confidential. It shouldn't even spill. So now let me talk about the other side of communication. So which would be in decision making. Maybe you're launching something or you're trying to make a decision. So you can always you can always ask for input. So it gives people some sense of belonging. Ask for input. You can ask in form of doing a random meeting, people talk, or you can create a survey. We are doing this, your input will be appreciated. So people feel that they belong to this organization and they are part of the decision making. So because what happens is that we are talking about communication, yet management, maybe from top, they're not getting it also, but communication actually is supposed to be a two-way street. So and also the last part of communication will also be how you communicate to people. So now something has happened, how do you communicate to people? How do you let it out eventually? So even if there is a confidential, I'll give an example. So probably there's a fraud case and you're letting someone go. Of course, at initial stage, it's handled as confidential matter. So until you're done with your investigation and you've even made your decision. So because you're trying to build good communication doesn't mean you come out openly and say, okay, we are sacking this person because he committed fraud. Okay. But putting it in a good way also matters. But do not let people guessing. I no longer see this person, what happened. They will definitely find the information themselves. So it's better you let it out and let it out in a diplomatic way before they get the information by themselves. So you can always tell them this person is no longer with us, the services is appreciated and all those. He has moved on. So without saying exactly what happened, but make sure you communicate such things.
Thank you. I mean, you've answered my question, because I like that you gave the example. The person also gave the example, something happened, the person left, and everybody was like, what's happening? But because the company was trying to protect...
They will definitely get the answer from someone.
Exactly. They will get it. So why hide so much? All right. Thank you so much, Chizzy, for coming on the show. I mean, you have helped us to break it down. But before I even let you go, there's just one more I would like to ask. Now, for this person, would you say that as an entrepreneur, you've mentioned it, but he now having this issue now, you should learn how to be... would you say you have to study your employees to know how to talk to them, communicate? I mean, and then also that because this is a growing business, just starting up, but is it that he has to now change his own self from being this, he doesn't really like to interact with people, he just likes mail and this thing? Because we're in Nigeria now, we're not so formal. It's not like a big business. Okay, you say, okay, I've copied you in a mail. So what can he himself do in this?
Okay, so anytime I have the opportunity of talking to entrepreneurs, I usually emphasize, if you've heard me, I've said it more than 10 times here, psychological safety. I emphasize it a lot because I know that most of the things you think are issues can be solved if you provide an enabling condition for people to work in. Okay. So most of the issue that you keep killing yourself trying to get advice on can just merely making people comfortable at work, allowing people come as they are, of course there's a place of policy, also no policy, but allowing people be themselves around work, get so comfortable and quite vulnerable around it. So for that, I think for him, there's a model to it, to maybe establishing a psychologically safe environment. So there's a model to it. I'm used to acronyms.
No.
So there's a REACH model to it. REACH, REACH.
Okay.
The R, like I said earlier, reframe mistakes. Okay. So instead of confronting people for their mistakes or blaming people for their mistakes, rather reframe it as feedback. All right. So that means you're giving people feedback. And before you get to the point where you start giving negative feedback, make sure you've given positive feedback before now. Okay. So you can't just start up with me giving me, I did this, you blame me. The next time you're talking to me is the same thing. Before, like I used to say, before you get the right to correct me, make sure you've complimented me before. So this also outside of work. So before you can tell me this your glasses is not fine, let it be that one of the days you've also told me my hair is fine. So that's when I can listen to you. So reframe mistakes as feedback.
Okay.
That's the R. So the E is encourage voices, encourage people to speak up, encourage people to, I have an idea, I want to run it by you. Can we talk? People, I need your suggestion. You can put them in groups. Just come up with something, ideas. You never can tell what innovation can actually come up from there. And don't forget, it gives people sense of belonging, which is what everybody's looking for. Human beings, we crave social connection. So I hear people say, make jest of when people say family, office is a family, let's be like, they make jest of that. But I think it's true because you spend most of your time at work.
Yes.
And because you can't negate the fact that humans, they crave social connection. So you can't remove that. So, and if you have a family, if you create a family, not in all the other sense of it, but if you make it like family in quotes, you'll see that you'll be happier, you as an employer, and the employees will also be happy. So that's it. Encourage people to speak. A is what?
A is
avoid blame games.
Yes.
And all sorts of avoid toxicity of anything of such. Then C, also coach. So coach, you might not be in the right capacity to coach, but encourage group coaching, encourage mentorship, and also help in terms of, that's the H, help in terms of support. So everybody needs support. Support can be in form of training. Support can be in form of providing resources. So not because I delegated a task to you, I leave it to it. So if I come as far as saying, okay, I've given this task, you can also check this link to get all the resources you need. I will respect you. I'll be happy. So just provide support, provide listening ears. So you can come in form of training, resources, mentorship, and whatnot. So once you have all these 4 in place, I think you begin to have
playing games, okay?
An enabling environment for work.
Right, thank you so much again, Chizzy. I mean, you've actually, I do hope that he will pick, of course, he's going to pick one or two from this.
And it's not, you be patient with yourself and with your employees. So it's not a day job.
Yes, it isn't a day job. It's a day job. All right, thank you for tuning in. We hope you found that discussion very, very insightful. Do not forget to leave us a review and share your feedback on our social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook at Africa Business Radio, Twitter at Africa Biz Radio. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep driving positive change. I am Chukwunonso Modi.
This podcast was proudly brought to you by ACT Foundation.